George Wendt is a truly remarkable actor. He has brought laughter and joy to millions. His career spans many decades. He is a cherished figure in entertainment history. We are, of course, talking about Norm Peterson. Norm was the lovable barfly from the hit show Cheers. George Wendt's portrayal was masterful. He made Norm unforgettable. This introduction serves as a tribute to the man. Cheers was more than just a television show. It was a cultural phenomenon. The show was set in a friendly Boston bar. This bar was a place where everybody knows your name. Norm Peterson was a fixture, always on his favorite stool. He loved his beer and his friends at Cheers. Every time he walked into the bar, everyone would shout, "Norm!" This greeting became famous worldwide. Norm represented the average guy. He was funny, relatable, and always there. He offered a comforting presence. In a complex world, Norm was refreshingly straightforward. He embodied the desire for a place to escape, a place where you are always welcome. George Wendt's portrayal was key to this connection. He gave Norm a warmth and humanity. This made him more than just a punchline. He was the heart of the common man at the bar. George Robert Wendt III was born in Chicago on October 17, 1948. Raised on the South Side, his family provided a nurturing environment. His father, a realtor and naval officer, instilled discipline. His mother was dedicated to their home. George attended Campion Jesuit High School in Wisconsin. He later enrolled at Rockhurst College, exploring various interests. Drawn to creative outlets, he discovered a passion for performance. This marked the quiet beginning of his remarkable career in entertainment. After college, George Wendt returned to Chicago. He worked various jobs, including construction and a bakery. These experiences grounded him in everyday life. The turning point came with the Second City. Here, he honed his comedic skills. Wendt thrived in this vibrant community. He learned the power of ensemble work, collaborating with talents like Tim Kazurinsky. This period shaped his comedic voice and network. While the Second City provided an invaluable training ground, George Wendt also began to seek out other professional acting opportunities. He auditioned for commercials, local theater, and TV roles in Chicago. Each small part was a step forward, building his resume. He appeared in local ads, gaining early exposure on camera. These roles were crucial for learning the technical aspects of filmed performances. His journey was one of gradual progress, built on talent and perseverance. By the early 1980s, George Wendt's reputation as a solid comedic actor was steadily growing, largely thanks to his work at the Second City. While Chicago had been an excellent training ground, the lure of more substantial television and film roles often meant looking towards Hollywood. He began to spend more time in Los Angeles, actively seeking auditions for new projects. It was during this period of professional hustle that a particular casting call emerged. This call was for a new sitcom, tentatively titled Cheers, created by the promising team of Glenn and Les Charles, along with veteran director James Burrows. The project was generating buzz, and roles were highly sought after. George Wendt, ever diligent, managed to secure an audition for this new show. The character description for Norm Peterson would have likely caught George Wendt's eye immediately. Norm was conceived as a bar regular, an everyday working man who enjoys his beer and the company of his local pub. He was to be an accountant, often lamenting his job and his unseen wife, Vera. This everyman quality, combined with a dry wit, was something Wendt could instinctively understand and embody. The role didn't require overt theatricality, but rather a grounded, believable persona. For an actor with Wendt's background in observational comedy and creating relatable characters at Second City, Norm must have felt like a comfortable yet exciting prospect. He could see the potential for genuine humor and warmth in such a role. The initial audition for Cheers was a critical step. George Wendt would have prepared meticulously, drawing upon his years of experience. The casting directors were looking for actors who could not only deliver lines, but also contribute to a strong ensemble feeling. For the role of Norm, they needed someone who could be both a source of reliable laughter and a comforting presence. Wendt likely read scenes from the pilot script, showcasing his interpretation of Norm's laid-back demeanor and his sharp, under-the-breath comedic timing. His ability to convey humor with a simple expression or a perfectly timed pause, honed through countless improv performances, would have been a significant asset during this crucial first reading. What made George Wendt stand out for the role of Norm was perhaps his authentic connection to the character. He didn't just act like Norm. In many ways, he seemed to inherently understand him. There was no pretense, no forced comedic effort. He presented a version of Norm that felt real, like someone you could genuinely imagine occupying a bar stool night after night. The creators were reportedly looking for actors who were funny in their own right, not just those who could recite funny lines. Wendt's natural charm and his effortless delivery made him a strong contender from the outset. He brought a likability and an understated intelligence to Norm that resonated deeply with the casting team. Securing a role on a promising new network sitcom, especially one helmed by respected creators like Glenn and Les Charles and James Burrows, was an incredibly competitive endeavor. Many talented actors in Hollywood would have been vying for a part on Cheers. George Wendt was not just competing against unknown actors. He was likely up against other established comedic performers and character actors also looking for their big break or next significant role. The pressure to impress and to consistently deliver a compelling performance through each stage of the audition process must have been immense for all involved. George Wendt, having made a strong first impression, would have been invited back for further readings. These callbacks allowed the creators and producers to see him perform additional scenes and to assess his chemistry with other potential cast members. Each callback was another hurdle to clear, another opportunity to prove he was the definitive choice for Norm Peterson. During these callback stages, George Wendt would have had more direct interaction with Glenn and Les Charles and director James Burrows. The creators were not just looking for talent, they were building an ensemble, a television family. James Burrows, known for his keen eye for comedic talent and ensemble dynamics, would have paid close attention to Wendt's performance. The period between the final callback and receiving the news is famously one of the most nerve-wracking times for any actor. George Wendt would have had to carry on with his life, perhaps attending other auditions, all while the fate of his Cheers audition hung in the balance. The phone call eventually came, bringing with it the news that George Wendt had officially been cast as Norm Peterson in Cheers. One can only imagine the immense wave of relief and exhilaration that washed over him. After years of honing his craft at the Second City, taking on smaller roles and navigating the challenging audition circuit, this was a monumental achievement. This moment marked a true turning point in his career, the culmination of years of hard work, persistence, and unwavering belief in his comedic talents. Joining the Cheers ensemble meant becoming part of a carefully selected group of actors, each chosen for their unique ability to bring their characters to life. Establishing a rapport with these fellow performers was essential, as the chemistry between the characters was central to the show's premise. George Wendt, with his easygoing nature and ensemble experience from Second City, was well prepared to become an integral part of this new television family. The initial table reads and rehearsals for the pilot episode of Cheers would have been a crucial period. As George Wendt inhabited Norm, delivering his lines and interacting with the other characters, the persona of the beloved barfly started to solidify. Even in those early days, there must have been a palpable sense of excitement surrounding Cheers. George Wendt's portrayal of Norm Peterson was a masterclass in understated comedy. He did not rely on exaggerated antics or loud pronouncements. Instead, Wendt inhabited Norm with a quiet authenticity. He made the character feel completely real. Norm was the quintessential average Joe, a man comfortable in his own skin. Wendt's natural, easygoing demeanor was a perfect match for this. This deep understanding allowed him to deliver a performance that was both humorous and incredibly human. The genius of Wendt's performance often lay in its subtlety. Much of Norm's humor came not just from his spoken lines, but from his reactions. A perfectly timed sigh, a knowing glance, or a weary shake of the head could speak volumes. Wendt was a master of nonverbal communication. He could convey Norm's perpetual mild exasperation with life, or his simple contentment with a cold beer. These small, nuanced moments added layers to the character. Norm Peterson resonated so deeply with audiences because he was instantly relatable. George Wendt made him the kind of person everyone felt they knew. Over 11 seasons of Cheers, George Wendt maintained an incredible consistency in his portrayal of Norm. One of the most enduring and iconic elements of Cheers was the thunderous greeting Norm received. Every time he walked through the door, the entire bar would erupt in a chorus of "Norm." This simple yet brilliant running gag became a beloved television ritual. George Wendt, as Norm, would usually respond with a perfectly delivered dry remark. This entrance became a hallmark of the show. It created a Pavlovian response of anticipation and laughter from the audience each week. But Norm was far more than just the recipient of a famous greeting. He was an integral part of the bar's social fabric. George Wendt ensured that Norm was a character with depth and purpose within the ensemble. He often served as a sounding board for other characters' problems. He offered surprisingly sage, if sometimes cynical, advice. He was a loyal friend, particularly to his best pal, Cliff Clavin. Norm's presence helped to ground the sometimes zany antics of the bar. His quiet wisdom often cut through the noise. Norm Peterson's wit was sharp, often delivered with a deadpan expression. George Wendt's comedic timing was impeccable in these moments. Norm Peterson, as brought to life by George Wendt, transcended the confines of the television screen. He became a genuine cultural archetype. The image of the lovable, beer-drinking, wisecracking barfly is now inextricably linked with Norm. He represents the ordinary man seeking camaraderie and a moment of respite. This character resonated so strongly that a Norm became shorthand for that familiar figure in any local establishment. Wendt's portrayal was so definitive that it set a standard. He wasn't just playing a role, he was creating an icon of barroom culture. This cultural footprint is a testament to his performance. The influence of Norm Peterson can be seen in subsequent television shows and media. Characters who embody the regular guy at the local haunt often owe a debt to Norm. His blend of humor, warmth, and slight world weariness created a template. While many have tried to replicate this, few have achieved the same level of authenticity and affection. George Wendt's performance showed that a character didn't need to be glamorous or heroic to be beloved. Sometimes, the most impactful characters are the ones who feel most like us. Norm's quiet, unpretentious charm left a lasting mark on sitcom character development. The set of Cheers was famously a place of great creativity and warmth. For over a decade, it became a second home to the cast and crew. George Wendt, with his easygoing nature, contributed significantly to this positive atmosphere. The long hours required for television production can be demanding. However, the Cheers set was known for its professionalism mixed with a genuine sense of fun. Actors often spoke of the supportive environment. Wendt's consistent, calm presence was a key part of this. He treated everyone with respect, from his co-stars to the behind-the-scenes crew members. This helped make the iconic bar set feel like a genuinely welcoming place for everyone involved in the show's production. The ensemble cast of Cheers is legendary for its incredible chemistry. This on-screen magic was built on a foundation of real off-screen camaraderie. George Wendt was an integral part of this dynamic team. He was not known for dramatic displays, but rather for his steady reliability and good humor. He was approachable and well-liked by all. Reports from the set often highlight how the actors genuinely enjoyed each other's company. George Wendt formed many strong relationships during his 11 years on Cheers. Norm and Cliff were an iconic comedic duo, often bickering but ultimately inseparable friends. This beloved dynamic was mirrored by a genuine off-screen friendship between Wendt and Ratzenberger. Beyond his bond with Ratzenberger, Wendt enjoyed warm relationships with all his Cheers co-stars. His amiable personality made him an easy person to get along with. The genuine affection among the cast members was a key ingredient in the magic of Cheers. It helped create a show that felt authentic and warm, a place viewers wanted to visit week after week for over a decade. Beyond the script improvisation, wit, and lasting contributions, George Wendt's background in improvisational comedy, especially with the Second City in Chicago, was invaluable on the Cheers set. His improv skills brought spontaneity and naturalism to Norm Peterson, making his reactions and witty remarks feel organic. Even small gestures or facial expressions added depth and humor to scenes. Wendt's quick wit and comedic timing elevated the material, ensuring Norm remained a beloved character. the enduring barstool Norm's lasting imprint. George Wendt's portrayal of Norm Peterson left an indelible mark on television. Norm became more than just a sitcom regular. He evolved into a cultural touchstone, instantly recognizable to viewers everywhere. Norm represented comfort and familiarity for millions. Even today, the name Norm evokes a specific, clear image. It brings to mind the friendly, familiar face at the end of the bar. His legacy is one of consistent, heartwarming laughter and genuine connection. He remains one of television's most beloved and cherished everyman figures. This enduring affection speaks volumes about the quality and impact of Wendt's performance. Wendt's Norm significantly shaped the everyman archetype in sitcom history for years to come. He was not a hero or a leading man in the traditional glamorous sense. Instead, his immense appeal lay in his profoundly relatable and ordinary nature. This portrayal powerfully showed that a character did not need grand adventures or dramatic pronouncements to be compelling. Norm's daily life, his minor complaints about work or Vera, and his simple, unadorned joys resonated deeply with audiences. Wendt's performance gave permission for future sitcoms to explore similar grounded characters more fully. He truly demonstrated the rich comedic and heartfelt potential that could be found in everyday people. This contribution broadened the scope of sitcom storytelling considerably. He championed the common man. The influence of Cheers, and specifically the character of Norm, extended to television comedy for many subsequent years. The show itself set an incredibly high bar for ensemble casts and wonderfully witty, character-driven humor. Norm's particular type of humor, consistently dry and acutely observational, became a popular and emulated comedic style. Many subsequent shows understandably attempted to capture a similar dynamic in their own settings. They often tried to create their own version of the beloved local hangout, populated by regulars. The widespread success of Norm's character highlighted the undeniable appeal of consistent, reliable comedic presences. This certainly impacted how writers developed supporting characters in sitcoms that followed. Norm's barstool became an iconic symbol. Decades after Cheers aired its final emotional episode, Norm Peterson's appeal remains remarkably strong and vibrant. New generations of viewers continue to discover the classic show through reruns and various streaming services. They often find themselves thoroughly charmed by Norm's distinctive wit and his underlying, undeniable warmth. The humor, deeply rooted in human nature and universally relatable situations, proves to be timeless. George Wendt created a character that successfully transcends specific eras or fleeting cultural trends. Norm's simple desire for a friendly ear, good company, and a cold beer is universally understood. This lasting connection ensures his prominent place in television history. He is not just a character from the past, he is a continuing welcome presence. Beyond the Bar, Wendt's wider television impact. While Norm Peterson is his most famous role, George Wendt's contributions to television extend much further. His career includes memorable guest appearances and starring roles in various TV series and movies. Wendt's versatility showcased his skill in both comedy and drama. His naturalistic style, honed at the Second City, influenced many. Wendt's work on Cheers was a cornerstone of television history. His portrayal of Norm Peterson elevated the sitcom genre. A legacy of laughter and lasting warmth. George Wendt's journey through entertainment is remarkable. He began in Chicago, blossoming at the Second City. He brought joy and heartfelt laughter to millions. His presence on screen felt genuine and warm. Norm Peterson became an iconic character. Wendt's legacy is filled with genuine laughter. His impact is a testament to a life well lived. We remember him with great affection and deep gratitude always. Don't forget to subscribe and see you on the next video.